Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and some happy holidays. And wouldn't you know it, on Christmas Day, SNK decided to drop a potential bombshell. SNK known to just drop big things out of the blue, and there's a reason why we're looking at Lord Wolfgang Krauser, the boss of Fatal Fury 2 right now, because it's very much related to him. So SNK decided to drop an animated short, and they are been known to drop animated shorts for Fatal Fury, for Mai vs. Chun-Li, just about anything, right? And then all of a sudden here we have Wolfgang Krauser, and we're calling back to the end of Fatal Fury 2 all of a sudden here on Christmas Day of all days, where Krauser, after losing to Terry at the culmination of the King of Fighters tournament that was Fatal Fury 2, he's like, well, if I lost to Terry, I guess I'll just kill myself. Maybe not the best reaction, but it's the one he took. And then we got a line.
Yes, it's been confirmed. Krauser's odds of survival are thought to be high. Understood.
Wait, what? Krauser's been dead since the 90s. He didn't even get the magic makeover do-over Geese did. And yes, Geese eventually did die, but Krauser died in Fatal Fury 2 and that was it. He's been playable in other games, but they're like what ifs or dream scenarios or like alternate universes, like his appearances in the King of Fighters. And now we're saying, no, this dude's still alive. And it's a very big deal because he was originally kind of presented as Geese, but better. He is Geese's half-brother, and one time back in the day, they did have it out, they fought it out, and Wolfgang whipped Geese. Given Fatal Fury 2 is the sequel, it's kind of the syndrome of, yo, you thought this guy was a big deal? This guy's an even bigger deal, but he lost to Terry and then offed himself. And it's one of the many mysteries that SNK has been putting forward. You may recall the mystery of the mask from not too long ago with someone who could be Ryo or Robert or a fusion of the two. It's known that eventually, anyways, there's a new Art of Fighting game on the horizon. That's why Art of Fighting 3, as old as it is making tournament rounds again. And you'd have to assume Wolfgang is a Fatal Fury boss, so is this related to, say, a Season 2 of Fatal Fury? We know City of the Wolves is getting a second season. And in fact, that second season's coming a lot sooner than you might think, actually, because Season 2 begins January 2026. Like, whatever schedule they had, it's been moved way the F up. Like, you might recall the original DLC plan, that didn't follow through. Both Chun-Li and Mr. Big both came out well ahead of schedule. Mr. Big wasn't even supposed to be out until 2026. Let alone Season 2 and whatever they're doing with Season 2 happening 2026 and January 26. That's potentially just weeks away at this point. And then on top of all this, right? So that Wolfgang announcement, there's a follow-up tweet here from SNK Global. A lot of interesting things are coming your way now and later. SNK is cooking up surprises. It's gonna be non-stop. And that word non-stop might have a lot more weight than you think. I've been hearing things. I don't want to say what exactly, because sometimes in the position I'm in, I get fed fake leaks too, just to see who leaks what. And I've never leaked anything. I report on leaks, but I never leak anything. And let's say half of what I'm hearing is true for Fatal Fury coming up. If half of what I'm hearing is true, there's some bananas stuff coming down the pipeline. Like stuff people are gonna be really happy with, not the least of which is this potential Wolfgang Krauser for a potential Season 2. On the leaks note, you may have seen other Fatal Fury City of the Wolves leaks over time in the past. And what I'll say to that is those kind of things don't always paint the entire picture, especially to the scale of what I'm potentially hearing. Or maybe I'm getting smoke blown up my rear end. I don't know, right? But I wouldn't say this at all unless I didn't believe there was a pretty serious chance of it being real. We'll see come the time, I suppose. I'll say with all these new projects, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, we have an upcoming Art of Fighting, we have an upcoming Samurai Showdown. They are committed to eventually doing a King of Fighters 16, and SNK's new backers, SNK's got some money. They've been opening up multiple new studios lately. A lot of things are possible. At bare minimum, I think this is a near guarantee though. Wolfgang Krauser is going to be one of the Season 2 characters for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Although without a sick mustache, it would look like they got rid of the mustache. I don't like clean face Krauser at all, honestly. It kind of throws me off. But last thing to mention here is just the animated short here itself. It's actually a awesome callback to one of the original Fatal Fury movies. So the new animated short has a lot of near shot-for-shot remakes of the second Fatal Fury movie called The New Battle. So in the movie, just like in the game, the big final battle, Terry versus Wolfgang Krauser, and Terry wins. And as a final parting FU, I guess, Krauser throws himself off the ledge of the castle. That's where this comes from, because in the original Fatal Fury 2, the stuff where Krauser commits suicide after losing, that's not in the actual game at all. That comes from the supplemental material. But long story short, Terry just a master of watching people fall from very high places to their death, basically. However, in the new animated short, unlike the film, someone's watching and ready to pick him up. So basically a pivot point, history change, and that'll let Wolfgang Krauser be alive going forward. And paying respect to history is exactly what we want around here. SNK has so many franchises with so much legacy tied to them, and the fact that they're paying respect to the movie from 1993 of all things, with this upcoming potential release, like, I love to see that kind of stuff. And to be frank, it opens another very interesting door, right? So in City of the Wolves, yes, Geese is still dead. They didn't pull the trigger on that. But if they are now bringing Wolfgang back, who has been dead since the very early 90s and never came back, if he's coming back, then who's to say Geese Howard's not going to come back as well? The fact that they didn't do it right away when City of the Wolves came out said, okay, I guess we're just not doing it. But now, if you're going to bring back someone who's been canonically dead even longer than Geese has been, the door is wide open. But yeah, SNK's cooking here. I think Season 2 is going to be a bigger deal than just on its face. Obviously, there'll be a patch, there'll be some new characters, but they've done significant updates during the course of the game's life, like the whole rank overhaul, which was a very big deal. I'm certain that could not have been easy, but people asked for it, so they did it. Putting out Chun-Li and Mr. Big ahead of schedule. When does that happen? Street Fighter, they accidentally told me Alex might come out a little bit early, and then basically I had to like publish a retraction for that. Like, characters don't launch early around these parts in fighting games. So even if it's not your cup of tea, right? I think they're going above and beyond. So very interested in where they're going to be taking this going forward for Season 2 and on into the future, because they've promised multiple years of support for the game before the game even came out, right? That was one of their big promises, that this game's around for the long haul. So what form that takes? Well, I guess we'll find out what the next steps are real soon, right? January is only days away at this point, and I'm really interested in what's gonna happen. And besides, it's just cool, like, dropping a video on Christmas Day for, like, a beloved, long-gone character. That's neat. That takes some balls to do, right? But anyways, so whenever we find out whatever this is all gonna be, and if some of the crazier things I've been hearing is actually true, don't worry, it'll all be covered on the channel. Whenever we have Season 2 and all the changes, I'll have the videos to help you understand all the changes for Season 2. And until then, well, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Fatal Fury.
Love, yeah.